I'm so excited. Jennifer Ernst is here. She's co-founder and CEO of Tivic Health. You might remember they are a late-stage immunotherapeutics company with the radiation therapy.
Yeah.
They are at their manufacturing facility here in, and they're on the air with us here. And we're going to get to talk to not only Jennifer, but Jennifer is also going to bring on her Chief Operating Officer, Michael Handley. But let's step in. Jennifer, I'm so excited. You guys are. Look at you. You've got the lab coat on, and you're right in the middle of everything. How are you?
Absolutely. I thought this was great. I told you before we wanted to get you inside of what a lab actually looks like.
Yeah.
So down here, we're in San Antonio, our manufacturing site for entolimod, for the acute radiation syndrome, what we'll be using later for the neutropenia applications. This lab we're in right now is a process development lab. So I have someone with me, actually a couple people here. I'll just swing the camera around.
Sure.
Mike Handley, who you just talked about. Part of the team here at Scorpius.
It always makes me feel good when I get to talk to you CEOs, and I know you guys have stuff in the background. When I see the rank and file out there with lab blue coats and there's bubbles going on in the background, and you've got real lab work going, and it makes the rest of the world know that you're saving lives. I think that's a good thing. Michael, nice to meet you, and I know you're Chief Operating Officer there. Can you just give us an overview there of this type of facility and what goes on there? And is this where the final product will be made once this thing is, look, NDA's out there. You guys are so close to commercialization. Is this where the final sort of packaging plant is, so to speak?
Spot on, yeah. Thanks for your time, and I appreciate your interest in this drug. This drug is a very unusual drug. It has a lot of effects that can benefit mankind. We're really excited to be down here with our manufacturing partner. And this particular facility that we're at in Texas is capable of producing enough product for commercialization. So we're down here working with our partners at the manufacturing site, looking forward to taking the next steps. There's a couple steps without getting too detailed as far as validation of the process and then scale the process. And we hope within probably the next 12 months, we should be able to produce our first, what we would call our GMP, good manufacturing process batch. That will allow us to test that and use that for human and BLA filings, which is the FDA filing for the drug.
Michael Handley is the Chief Operating Officer of Tivic Health and their ticker symbol TIVC. I got a question for you in regards to, obviously when we hear this, we've heard the story and we brought this to our audience of 80 million people and plus across the world and American Forces Network as well. And I think the one thing we think about is supply availability when you start talking about military, right? That's a big customer. Are you guys in place for that, or will there be multiple facilities like this to sort of handle as the need comes?
We're actually, great question. We're actually really well positioned. The amount of drug that we need per soldier is very, very small. It's a very small dose. And because of that, the expression system that we use can create enough protein in a single run to dose millions of patients, millions of soldiers. So.
The one question I have too is this, and I think this is something we have to think about. This is not just for the U.S. You have created something here, and look at we've every nightmare story you hear about radiation. Most of them are not in the U.S. and most of them are not having to do with U.S. personnel. They're across the world. Is this the type of technology that you can license, or is this technology you sell outright to other countries and other medical sort of infrastructures elsewhere?
So without getting into anything confidential, we can definitely sell product to outside countries, Ukraine, South Korea, Taiwan, other countries that have potential to have nuclear events. Unfortunately, Middle East is another one. So these particular potential clients, would be interested in potentially buying this drug from us, given U.S. approval and federal government approval.
Sure.
Hey, I know we've talked on the show about entolimod and what it does, but you being the guy with the lab coat and the glasses, the scientist behind it, can you tell us a little bit more about what it does and how it works?
Yeah, so in layman's terms, it's a protein activates a receptor in the human body that protects the bone marrow, and it also protects the GI tract from radiation exposure, if that makes sense. That's as about lay terms as I can get.
That's perfect for me, yeah.
Hey, back to Jennifer Ernst. Jennifer Ernst is a co-founder and CEO. Jennifer, I love it when you talk about what happens to the rest of us. This is beyond military, and the applications beyond the military countermeasures. What is there a market for that? Is that something that we need to have on hand, just like we have vaccines on hand and so on and so forth?
Well, before we step onto that, I wanted to make sure you knew about, just last week we announced that we've scheduled a BARDA Tech Watch meeting. So really important as part of moving the process forward with the U.S. government, with the military, with our initial customer base we're looking at, is the BARDA meeting.
And that's the Administration for Strategic Preparedness, I think, is that's what it's called. And I think that's a huge piece of this thing moving forward because it operates with the U.S. Department of Health, correct?
Absolutely. And then also talking about for the rest of us, as you know, radiation damage, chemotherapy also can damage the bone marrow, the GI tract. We've talked about before the importance of being able to potentially protect, but also mitigate the effects of those treatments. Michael's background, just as filling in the gaps here, was part of launching Neupogen, Neulasta, launching some of the drugs that are actually in that category and being used commonly today. So really excited about being able to do this dual use type technology where we have the military applications, the military countermeasures, and the opportunity for the civilian use cases.
Jennifer, as a co-founder, it's got to be exciting standing in there, knowing that where you started, that glimpse of an idea that you guys had several years ago, saying, I think we could. There's a science here, and now you guys are literally at the 5-yard line, so to speak. I mean, if you look at the arc of the story for most biotech companies, a lot of them don't get here, and this is really, really, you're right there. Is it exciting for you guys? What are you looking forward to most here for the next 6 months? Because I can tell just by talking to you, you're pretty excited about being in the lab.
In a lab, I think both of us have that shared scientific piece of it. And yeah, I mean, I founded the company, but I got the opportunity to license this technology in at a very late stage. So there was a lot of work that went before us, building on the shoulders of giants here as we're taking it to that final last leg of the race. So yeah, what I'm excited about, I think what both of us would say we're excited about, I hope Brian over here will say he's excited about too, is being able to get across the finish line. I mean, get this into market, get it into its application cases. We talk about harnessing the immune system to improve outcomes and save lives, and that's spot on what this drug can do.
Love it. Jennifer, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time. I know you guys are busy. It was really great. I want to send a camera crew out there next time with you guys.
Yeah.
Spend some stuff with that. Jennifer Ernst, CEO and co-founder, of course, Tivic Health. Let's not forget Michael Handley, the Chief Operating Officer, harnessing the immune system to improve outcomes and save lives.